We get together, we fuck. It's simple.
Simple. Bullshit.
What room are you in?
I don't think I can keep pretending I don't like you anymore.
What's in Williams, everybody? Heated Rivalry is streaming now on HBO Max. We'll be right back.
This is the story of why audiences connected so deeply with Heated Rivalry, the Canadian television adaptation of Rachel Reid's hockey romance novel that premiered in late November 2025 and became an unexpected cultural phenomenon. 6 episodes aired on Crave in Canada and HBO Max internationally, with Jacob Tierney creating the series while writing and directing every single episode.
Ilya Rozanov?
Shane Hollander, I wanted to introduce myself.
We will be seeing each other a lot.
Shane Hollander, captain of the Montreal Voyageurs, is played by Hudson Williams, while Connor Story takes on Ilya Rozanov, captain of the Boston Bears. Virtual unknowns both, these actors landed roles that would change their lives and spark a movement nobody saw coming.
And then the whole backside, you know, there's is out.
Rachel Reid's Game Changers novel series had moved hundreds of thousands of copies according to publisher Harlequin before cameras ever rolled. Creating these characters meant drawing from the real-life rivalry between hockey legends Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin, and that foundation gave the story authenticity fans could feel.
Why the fuck did you think it was okay to sex me before the game? What the fuck?
You were hard, weren't you?
A devoted fan base existed long before anyone thought about bringing these stories to television, which meant expectations ran high from day one. Tierney discovered the series through a Washington Post article about hockey romance novels in early August 2023, and the very next day he contacted Rachel Reid after listening to the Game Changers audiobooks.
You're in love with him.
I'm not in love with him.
You are.
January 2025 brought Crave picking up the show. Cameras started rolling in April across Toronto and Montreal, and less than 3 weeks after the November premiere, the network renewed the show for a second season.
I think I'm gay.
What makes you think that?
Fuck you, you're not gay.
No, not completely.
What room are you in?
Okay, so you're gay, so what?
Well, it's kind of a big deal. To me, at least.
Are there any gay hockey players?
None that have said it publicly. I don't think I can keep pretending I don't like you anymore.
Industry observers couldn't believe how fast that decision came. Critics embraced the series with enthusiasm that bordered on fever pitch. Dozens of professional reviewers pushed Rotten Tomatoes to an extremely high approval rating, and that's when things got really interesting. Episode 5, titled I'll Believe Anything, achieved a perfect rating on IMDb, tying with Breaking Bad's legendary episode Ozymandias as one of the highest-rated television episodes in platform history.
Hey.
Sorry.
I wish I spoke Russian. How about you tell me everything that's on your mind, but in Russian?
Так сильно тебя люблю, не знаю, что с этим делать.
A clean hit. Hollander just did not see it coming.
The series itself entered IMDb's chart of top-rated television shows shortly after, cementing its place in streaming culture. Viewership numbers tell a story of organic growth that almost never happens in modern streaming. Luminate tracked the series starting with relatively modest numbers in week 1 that didn't crack the top 50 programs anywhere. Week of the finale in late December brought viewership exploding more than tenfold, and here's where it gets wild. Even after the full season sat available for streaming, numbers kept climbing instead of falling off the way most shows do. Late January saw episodes averaging millions of viewers, with the show hitting its highest weekly viewership total yet, defying every prediction analysts had made.
The more you learn about us, the more you realize that I'm actually probably more Shane in real life and you're actually more Ilya in real life.
So this is basically 90% of where I was filming, but it's like
Canada's Crave watched the series become their most watched original programming ever, viewership jumping several 100% in just the first week alone. HBO Max ranked it among their top scripted debuts of the entire year, and the show became the top debut for any acquired non-animated title since the platform launched several years earlier. Nobody had bet on those numbers when they signed the deal. Something unusual showed up in engagement metrics about how people consumed this content. 1/3 of the total audience watched the entire season more than once. A significant chunk of viewers completed the series 5 or more times, and episode 5 got rewatched more than any other episode by a wide margin.
Compatible? I thought I knew what it meant, but I wanted to be sure.
She's great, but, Ilya, I'm gay.
You're not so gay you can fuck Rose Landry.
Oh my god. You're not jealous, are you?
No.
I'm sorry, sir. We'd really like to accommodate you, but
Industry people call this unusually high stickiness, and it's the kind of thing that makes executives start thinking about franchises and spin-offs. Demographics revealed patterns that caught everyone off guard.
What the fuck was that?
Alone?
Just over half of viewers were female initially, but by the end of the first full week after the finale, roughly 2/3 of viewers were women. Straight women showed up in force. Members of the LGBTQ+ community, especially gay men, embraced it. Women in their 30s and 40s binged it repeatedly. Middle-aged suburban mothers became obsessed, and hockey fans discovered the sport for the first time through what they thought would be just another romance show.
Did you, bring anybody?
No. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of that sort of thing this weekend.
HBO Max's head admitted he initially thought the show would appeal specifically to gay audiences, but it reached far broader demographics than anyone expected or planned for. Book sales exploded in ways that thrilled publishers, with paperback and digital versions of Heated Rivalry and its sequel The Long Game becoming top bestsellers overnight. Elle Kennedy's related hockey romance series saw sales increase by well over 100% after Heated Rivalry premiered, proving the entire genre was catching fire.
For the next 2 weeks, let's just be honest with each other.
So we just sit here and look at it.
Yes, we just sit here and look at it.
I will try.
Really?
Yes.
Real-world hockey culture makes the show's very existence feel striking in ways outsiders might not immediately grasp. 0 openly gay active players currently skate in the NHL, making it the only major North American sports league without any openly LGBTQ+ player in its history spanning over a century.
Fuck you, he played hockey for McGill.
Whoa, what the fuck is McGill? Is McGill at that?
It's a really good school.
A 2022 report showed Hockey Canada documented hundreds of on-ice discrimination incidents across all levels during a single season, and those are just the ones that got reported and logged officially.
Stupid Canadian wolf bird.
2024 brought the NHL briefly banning Pride tape, and when some players refused to wear Pride jerseys during themed games, the league banned the jerseys altogether rather than dealing with the controversy. Tierney described creating a gay love story set in hockey as an act of rebellion, which sounds dramatic until you understand the context he was working within. Audiences deserve gay shows that are sexy and fun and entertaining without apology, he emphasized, and the production team made deliberate choices to honor source material, including casting someone of Asian descent to play Shane, since the character is Asian in the books.
I love you.
I love it.
Holy shit. I love you too.
Intimacy depiction caught particular attention from viewers and critics alike. Rather than relying on familiar tropes of gay men working through internalized homophobia through aggressive encounters, the series shows tenderness and curiosity and emotional commitment in ways that felt fresh. Even podcasts aimed at straight male hockey fans discuss the show seriously, commenting on emotional impact and intimate content with genuine enthusiasm rather than the mockery some expected.
I know your mother is Japanese or something. Probably where you get your looks. You still won't?
Still won't.
Yearning and emotional depth driving the relationship forward captivated viewers who needed that connection. One fan editor in her 20s described being drawn to the yearning aspect, explaining how emotional cracks forming between the characters over years sold the story more than rivalry or physical attraction ever could. That emotional evolution resonated because it felt earned rather than manufactured.
It's you. It's this. And it felt like we were something.
We can't be something, Hollander.
A content creator highlighted the slow-burning nature of Shane and Ilya's romance, noting how meaningful it felt watching them maintain contact and connection despite impossible circumstances that should have torn them apart. An academic studying media observed a clear pent-up appetite for romance that nobody had seriously adapted before, and the audience had been underserved for so long that finally getting validation felt powerful in ways that transcended entertainment. Reed herself noted fans getting extremely emotional about small quiet moments and line deliveries having nothing to do with explicit content, which surprised even her.
You like tuna melt?
You want to make me tuna melts?
I was gonna make one for me, I can make two.
Specific acting choices were making people lose their minds, and she loved seeing that reaction because it meant the story was landing on multiple levels. She also expressed that the actors were perfect for the roles, saying she couldn't have built better people to play these characters even under ideal laboratory conditions with unlimited resources.
And people say you're not funny.
They do?
Yeah. They say you're boring too.
Different aspects of the characters' journeys resonated with different viewers in deeply personal ways. Some connected with Shane's experience as a person of color in predominantly white spaces who felt pressure to excel at everything while wrestling with competitive drive that never shut off.
You missed me, didn't you?
I fucking didn't. And I still beat your ass.
Barely.
Others related to the broader struggle of trying to understand yourself and your desires and your identity while the world watches every move you make. Raw vulnerability from the characters created a universal thread of humanity transcending the specific hockey context, and that universality let the story reach people who'd never watched a sports show in their lives. Scott Hunter's character struck a chord with one reviewer who found his internal nature and embodiment of loneliness and longing for family deeply familiar in ways that hit close to home. Neurodivergent characteristics portrayed through careful attention to anxiety and literal thinking, and how tension manifests through body language and tiny facial expressions resonated with viewers seeing themselves or loved ones reflected with accuracy they rarely encounter in media. Longtime book fans praised the adaptation quality in ways that surprised the creative team. Readers described it as the best book-to-series adaptation they'd ever encountered, praising how the script stayed faithful to source material while adding context where needed, without feeling padded or stretched. Chemistry between actors was described as extraordinary and electric, with some viewers saying they could watch these two interact indefinitely without getting bored. Female viewers across age ranges expressed deep emotional connection that went beyond typical fan enthusiasm. Women in their 30s and 40s, including those in long-term heterosexual relationships, described it as the best show they'd ever seen, the first time in years they'd cried tears of joy watching a love story unfold on screen. Obsession set in for many viewers, consuming thoughts and daily life in ways usually reserved for major cultural events. A literary critic explained that Heated Rivalry follows classic romance novel structure where protagonists feel drawn to each other but face external obstacles and internal emotional barriers they must work through before happiness becomes possible. This familiar structure, executed with skill, creates the satisfying emotional payoff viewers responded to so enthusiastically, proving old formulas still work when handled with care. Ilya's character, representing a classic archetype in romance literature, added another layer of appeal. The more emotionally guarded and elusive a character appears early on, the more satisfying their eventual emotional opening becomes when it finally happens. Viewers responded with intense enthusiasm when Ilya finally expressed his feelings openly in the final episodes, and social media exploded with reactions that ranged from euphoric to completely unhinged. The show became a collective cultural experience in ways that transcended typical television viewing and entered shared memory. A fan editor in her mid-20s noted the show was clearly made with care for its audience, and at a time when political and cultural shifts toward division and intolerance dominated her country, this unifying cultural moment about a fictional gay love story felt deeply healing. Escapism during what many described as a bleak period in current events gave people permission to feel joy about something pure. Public reaction reflected themes familiar from other television shows where emotional investment in relationships drives fandom engagement at high intensity. The difference with Heated Rivalry is that while some fandoms work hard extracting romantic subtext from source material through endless analysis and interpretation, this show delivers romance directly and explicitly without making anyone work for it. This approach sparked widespread enthusiasm even among audiences who don't typically engage at intense fandom levels with television content, bringing in casual viewers who suddenly found themselves making fan edits at 3 in the morning. Real-world impact extended beyond entertainment value in ways that surprised even the creators. Hockey player Jesse Kortenbaum publicly came out citing Heated Rivalry as part of his inspiration, and his statement described wondering how he could be gay while playing such a tough and masculine sport. His identity felt like something that could never be revealed because he didn't think those two worlds could occupy the same person or the same locker room. But the show helped him see another possibility. Love for the game combined with desire for it to become a place where everyone can be themselves without worrying about mistreatment led him to make that public statement. Hudson Williams revealed multiple closeted professional athletes from hockey and football and basketball have reached out to him since the show premiered, which indicates meaningful impact on people navigating similar situations in real life. This isn't just entertainment anymore, but actually changing conversations in locker rooms and team meetings and private messages between players who thought they were alone. The Montreal Canadiens played the Heated Rivalry trailer on their arena's massive screen twice, including during Pride Night, and an unnamed NHL League representative commented that in the league's long history, this might be the most unique driver for creating new fans. That's diplomatic language for nobody saw this coming, and we're scrambling to figure out what it means. Social media engagement reached levels that made marketing executives wish they'd thought of this campaign themselves. Hundreds of fan-created video edits accumulated millions of views across TikTok and X, formerly known as Twitter and Instagram, with fans devoted to analyzing scenes between episode releases and offering theories and interpretations that sometimes went deeper than the creators intended. Engagement resembled fandoms around major shows, complete with memes and detailed discussions and passionate reactions flooding every platform simultaneously. Content creators organized public watch parties documented online where crowds cheered at dramatic moments as if watching live sporting events, and that comparison isn't exaggeration. Episode 5 generated intense reactions with people describing watching it like a major sports championship, and the episode featured a pivotal scene where older hockey player Scott publicly kisses his boyfriend on live television after winning the championship. Videos of emotional reactions went viral, including footage of viewers crying after watching, and the collective experience of watching and discussing became as important as the show itself for many fans. HBO acquired the series only about 9 days before it premiered, meaning marketing was essentially non-existent when the show dropped. The stars hadn't done significant press. All buzz came from online fans of the books, and despite these limitations, the show's opening achieved viewership comparable to major network flagship shows that had spent millions on marketing campaigns. That kind of organic growth doesn't happen by accident but requires something special in the content itself. Crave executives expressed relief they didn't find a co-financer who might have demanded changes that would have gutted what made the show special. Understanding the book worked for a specific audience, that this audience was surprisingly large, and that altering the material risked alienating the built-in fanbase while potentially appealing to nobody, meant trusting the vision, when business instincts might have suggested playing it safer. Women attracted to men found the series offering everything appealing about that attraction, without potential negative experiences that come with actual relationships and real-world complications. Romance and physical content are intense but also tender and intimate, providing fantasy without harm or disappointment or trauma that colors so many real experiences. That safety matters more than outsiders might realize. GLAAD research shows over half of LGBTQ+ Americans and a substantial portion of non-LGBTQ+ people, totaling tens of millions of Americans combined, say they're more likely to watch a show if at least one character is LGBTQ+. Centering a queer romance gave Heated Rivalry a strong base of support from LGBTQ+ audiences, who tend to drive viewership and serve as trusted recommenders for content, and those viewers have been credited with helping other shows grow into long-term successes by championing them early and loudly. Cultural success demonstrates people from LGBTQ+ communities aren't naturally averse to participating in sports spaces the way some assume. Something important emerges when a story so confident in its masculinity and assured of its legitimacy as sports romance takes off this way, and the show matters in a sporting culture that still sidelines queer men and makes them feel like they don't belong in spaces they actually helped build. The broader romance publishing industry took note of the show's success, with editors and publishers describing growing appetite for hockey romance and sports romance generally. Stories featuring queer characters and those going beyond typical archetypes are what readers want now, and the industry is slowly starting to respond, even if skepticism remains about whether one breakthrough leads to sustained mainstream attention for queer stories. Mid-December 2025 brought confirmation of a second season, with HBO Max returning as distribution partner and expanded international deals secured through negotiations that happened at lightning speed. One lead actor teased the second season would be more intense and longer, which, given the first season's explicit content, is saying something that made fans immediately start speculating about what that could possibly mean. The show represents a moment in television that matters for multiple reasons worth examining. Romance gets treated as worthy of serious creative effort rather than guilty pleasure content. People should feel ashamed about enjoying. Queer desire and joy get explicitly centered without apology or toning things down for mass market appeal. Masculine norms in sports culture face challenges through showing vulnerability and tenderness as strength rather than weakness. Underserved audiences will enthusiastically support content made thoughtfully for them rather than content designed by committee to appeal to everyone and no one, and that lesson keeps needing to be relearned. Whether this proves to be an isolated phenomenon or the beginning of broader change in how these stories get told remains an open question as the series continues into its second season and beyond, but right now it's changing lives, and that's enough.